everybody. Today's video finds us over here in Korat, or Nakhon Ratchasima, and we're going to take a look at a 10th century Khmer ruin that's sitting out here. It's Prasat Non Ku, I think is how you say it. This is one it's a small little temple, and I'm going to try to break out the drone and I'll fly it around and I'll show you what it looks like. I missed it when I was over here last time about 3 months ago. And so I decided to come over here and check it out today. And I've picked like the hottest day. It is scorching hot. Holy cow, it's hot. So anyway, let's brave the heat a little bit. I know you won't feel that at home, but trust me, it is very, very warm here. So let's look at this and let's see what we see. So this is the site. So we have a little cross-shaped pile of stones here, and then the ruin itself is right there. This temple used to be surrounded by a wall, and this would have been the Gopura right here, which would have been the entrance, and this would have been on the east. So you can see kind of how it looks. Everything is dry and dead looking. They're burning all this dead leaves and vegetation stuff right now. So you got a lot of smoke in the air, and we're just waiting for rainy season to come now. And I just want to show one thing right here. So for all the comments that I will get saying that it's not Khmer, that it's Kham, this is what the Thai government says right here. So they say it was originally built around the 10th century, and it was declared a ancient monument in 1936, and then they registered it as a scope monument in 1982. And I think the last time they came over here and they restored it was in 1996. There's not a whole lot to see, but we'll climb around and we'll take a look at it. It has two small little shrines, and then it has mostly just the base with a couple of the sandstones sticking up. So these would have been the original steps. So you would have came up here, and this would have been an opening, and it would have been covered, and then they would have had two little rooms on the side here. One over here and one over here, and they would have had some images. Now there's something over there in the trees, but it's never been excavated. And then over there they have all the extra pile of sandstone that they're not going to use. And then you can see out through the trees here that there's little pieces and stuff like that of these sandstone blocks. And then this would have led you into the sanctuary. So you would have came here, and they had these sandstone columns set up right here, and there would have been like a lintel up above, and these doors are quite low, but what I like is to see how they notched them. So they notched this at a 45, and then they notched it here again, and that sets just right on top, perfect. And then they would have put like another piece of stone right here. You can see that square, and it would have been on each side, and they would have carved it, and then they would have notched like back here. You see how that's notched right there. So they would have fixed another piece of stone coming up. And then there would have been windows over here, just the normal stuff that you would have seen. And then we have two shrines in this. And you can see here, this one here, this big piece of sandstone is broke, but they set it back in place. And you can see a lot of the little holes and stuff where they drilled it. So if you can imagine, there was a guy here with a hammer and a chisel doing that to the sandstone in the 10th century. So this little one right here has actually a Shiva Linga in it. So it's kind of wild. This one here, the entrance is on the east, and that one over there, the entrance is on the west. I'm not sure if that was like Shiva and Vishnu, but this is the Shiva Linga. This is a modern one. It's not the original. And you can see there again where they had another little room, and you can see where they've notched that. And they got a little piece of the stone right there. Most of this, the top buildings were all made out of brick. It's a little easier to deal with, but it doesn't last as long. The sandstone and the laterite stones lasted a little longer. And so the whole top of this is gone, but it would have been a cool little building. And you can see the same over there for that one. You can see going up to the center here, they have some small pieces that they just used to kind of take up space. And you can see where they notched every one of those. I don't know if these were notched like that to make it easy to move. I thought at first it might have been like a rail, but there's some of these other big stones that have the little notches in them also. So I'd assume that they would have done that to where they could have, you know, maneuvered them around. Because you can see here they have those little notches. And then they carved all of these. So they put them in place, and then you can see how they carved them at like a little slant. And they would have put just little stuff in them, just all the little details. Just quite amazing. And then up there at the top, the same. And then they had the inner wall over here. But you see those trees got a mound. And I'm wondering if there were other little buildings out there. So this is the second little room, and this door here is facing to the west. You can see the columns here, and just says some uneven, jagged sandstone steps. And then not much else to see here, but I really like that. So I wonder if they had like a hoist system to put those up on top, or how they did that. I mean, I'm sure they were professionals at it. Yeah, so they just have some bricks. You can see how the bricks have deteriorated. They don't last near as long, but pretty cool. Okay, let's climb up there. Like I said, this will be a quick little temple video. I like seeing these Khmer style ruins like this. You can see the steps are not even at all. They're like 2-foot steps, followed by like a 2.5-foot, followed by like a 1-foot step. But I think the belief was, you know, like coming to pray, it's not supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be a bit difficult. Yeah, this is really cool up here. So just look around here. So while we were, you know, while this was being used, this was all a town here. So all this brush is gone, would have been gone. There would have been fields and houses and all kinds of stuff here. This was the ancient city, kind of the precursor to Nakhon Ratchasima. And you see how arid it is. Okay, so up here, you see they had some holes that they carved. They would have had columns going up. They would have had another little window here. They carved some more here for another column. And then they would have had the stone holding up the lintel. And the lintel is completely gone. I don't see any traces of it. And they have some more of the carved holes over here. So this would have been the primary room here. And this was originally a Hindu temple. And they would have had the Shiva Linga up here also. And then you would have been able to go down to the west and right out of the exit, that Gopura right there. You can see where the Thais, the modern Thais, have came over here and burned the joe sticks, and they have a little shrine and stuff that they use. But this would have been just sticking up here. It would have been quite cool. And now there's just some brush, and they run cattle out here. You see they have some trails, and you can see cows and all of that. So they push the cows out here for grazing. And check it out, you got cactus, and it's just really not what you picture Thailand to be. It's so arid here compared to other parts of the country. You can see here how they've carved all that too. They just did all this style work. Now, I don't know how much of this was restored. I'm sure most of it is the original bricks. They try to use the original the best they can, and they couldn't have recreated these. This is just out here. Nobody comes out here anymore. It's not promoted at all. So it's just me and the heat today. You can hear the birds, and every once in a while a car goes by here on the road. And our last little look here. Yeah, it's a small ruin, but still pretty neat, dating back to the 10th century. And they did all of this here without the use of modern tools. So anyway, we got to see that today. So that'll finish up our video. I jumped on the motorcycle today and came over here to Prasat Non Ku. Definitely cool. It's not really worth a special trip. unless you really are interested in stuff like this like I am. It's just a little site out here amongst the brush, and nobody uses it anymore. It's forgotten about. It was abandoned back in the day, and it's kind of that away now, which is a shame. I really like the story that's told in these stones. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, then smash the like button. If you're new to the channel, stick around, subscribe. You're notified whenever I post a new video. And if you like seeing this kind of stuff, this is what I do. I show you things that I see and tell you a little bit about it, the best I know anyway. And leave me a comment if you've been here before, if you know anything more about it, or anything like that. Let me know. If there's any other sites that I haven't been to that you would be interested in seeing. A lot of my viewers leave me a comment and tells me things to go see, and I do the best I can. I really like finding new stuff like this. So anyway, until next time, from over here in Nakhon Ratchasima, remember, life is a journey. Until next time, enjoy.